What's the address? Where is it? Sarah, do you know where this place is?
Hey Ghost Heads, it's Heidi from Channeling Spirits. We've talked about haunted houses in the past, but there is one that holds a special place in our hearts. We're talking, of course, about the famous Haunted Mansion. Though there is some debate as to which coast has the better facade, Disneyland obviously.
False.
Today, we're going to focus on the one in Walt Disney World. We'll attempt to find the exact location of the ghostly abode for all of those wishing to join the 999 happy haunts. The obvious answer is it's located in Liberty Square, a section of Magic Kingdom where guests step into colonial America. It features the Liberty Bell, 2 lanterns lit marking the British are coming, 1 if by land and 2 if by sea, and period-accurate architecture mostly. Imagineers decided that having a New Orleans square would not be attractive to Floridians who already were close neighbors to Louisiana. In the same vein, Southerners would be all too familiar with a haunted mansion that had an antebellum aesthetic. With the upcoming bicentennial coming in 1976, they chose to create a land celebrating the American Revolutionaries and called it Liberty Square. The Haunted Mansion is situated perfectly as a transition from colonial America to the medieval exaggeration that is Fantasyland. The mansion has elements of a Gothic castle, as well as architectural details that blend it with Liberty Square, allowing the guests to seamlessly move between the 2 lands with its connective imagery. As the guest travels west through Liberty Square towards Frontierland, they move forward chronologically through history and advance as American settlers did into the Wild West. The addresses in Liberty Square are meant to show the march forward in time, with the architecture displaying what was popular that year. The diamond horseshoe represents another transition from land to land. Emblematic of a historic St. Louis saloon, the guest continues to travel west to Utah Buttes of Thunder Mountain. There, prospectors are trying to cash in on another gold rush, just like in 1849. But situating the Haunted Mansion in Liberty Square doesn't specifically tell us where in the 13 colonies it was intended to be. The architecture of Liberty Square varies but is largely in the style of Dutch colonial. That style was popular particularly in New York, which is where the Dutch settled. Elements of this style included stepped gables, a columned porch entry, 8/8 windows, and gambrel roofs such as the famous Amityville house. But the Haunted Mansion has few of these traits. Some have said it was inspired by the Harry Packer Mansion in Pennsylvania, built in 1874. The Packer Mansion was designed in the Italianate style, and there are some shared features. They are both a 2.5-story red brick building with a looming tower. The Haunted Mansion also features coins and a cupola atop the tower, also common in Italianate buildings. The Haunted Mansion also has an uncommon feature, an attached conservatory. This unique design is also found in Mark Twain's house, also built in 1874. He resided in Hartford, Connecticut, and it was built in the style of Gothic Revival. Of the varied influences, Gothic Revival seems the most evident in the Haunted Mansion. The roof ornaments and narrow windows give it the appearance of the Lyndhurst Mansion in Tarrytown, New York, built in 1838. Despite the shared traits of other mansions, the most direct inspiration the Imagineers found was in The Model Architect by Samuel Sloan. An engraving in the book shows a residence in the perpendicular or florid style, a subgenre of late-stage Gothic architecture in Europe. The inspiration is evident. So the Haunted Mansion has Gothic and Italianate elements, neither of which were common in colonial America. This makes it more fantasy than reality. So, is there any way of knowing where it is located? Let's go back to the Lyndhurst Mansion in Tarrytown, New York.
the little village of Tarrytown. And just beyond, nestled deep in the low rolling hills, a sequestered glen.
Sleepy Hollow.
Washington Irving made Tarrytown's neighboring village famous with his tale of the Headless Horseman and Ichabod Crane. In 1949, Walt Disney Productions made the double feature of The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. A reference to the short story and subsequent film is found in Liberty Square at the Sleepy Hollow Inn. In 2012, a collection of boxes in Liberty Square appeared and were addressed to several fictional inhabitants of Liberty Square. Among them were Ichabod Crane and Abraham Brom Bones Van Brunt of Sleepy Hollow, and a box meant for Silas Crump, the caretaker of Gracey Manor, located in the Hudson River Valley in the province of New York. What's interesting is this was the first time Imagineers gave a name to the caretaker and acknowledged the haunted mansion as the Gracey Manor. Around 2005, there was a sign in Frontierland pointing to the old dark house that read, "Ghastly Mansion," with ghastly crossed out and haunted written over it. Fans and cast members often believed the tombstone of Master Gracey meant he was the owner of the mansion, but addressing one as Master is the English custom of politely addressing a boy too young to be a Mister.
Master Wayne. Master Wayne. Master Wayne. Master Wayne.
Despite the confusion, Disney has accepted several fan theories and cast member stories as canon, including naming it Gracey Manor. Sadly, you won't find those crates if you go looking for them nowadays. For whatever reason, they were removed. But for a brief moment, guests knew where to ship their remains for those wanting to make a permanent residence there. But what do you think? Does the architectural inconsistencies make it impossible to pinpoint the mansion's exact location? Or does having it on the Hudson next to Sleepy Hollow make spooky sense? Let us know your thoughts. As always, if you liked this video and think we deserve it,
I'm afraid there's no other way.
please subscribe. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for further updates. Come back every Frightful Friday for a new video. I'm Heidi with Channeling Spirits, and thanks for watching. 999 happy haunts, but there's always room for one more.